When it's time to scale your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to grow the way you want. Like, all the way. Stack more sales with the best converting checkout on the planet. Track your cha-chings from every channel, right in one spot. And turn real-time reporting into big-time opportunities. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
Hello everybody and welcome to Howie the Podcast. It's Gav and you join us from a very, very noisy Hollywood Bowl outside of the York City Stadium as Sunderland run out 5-1 winners, I think, in pre-season. I kind of stopped caring after about 60 minutes or so, but yes, I believe we did win the game and it's the first game of pre-season. We're glad to be here. We're glad to be chatting about football again. And I'm joined by James and Ian. Hello, James.
Hello, mate. Great start. If you can't even remember the scoreline.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, as long as we're winning in Premier League, I don't really care. Also, Ian, you just wandered in. You haven't had a pint yet. That's the commitment to the pod, mate. I wouldn't have dared sit down without a pint. Well done.
I'm not standing in that queue.
Yeah, the queue's round the block. It's a bit of a weird ground, this, isn't it?
Honestly, there's 16 corners to this ground. Like, I came in via blooming Scarborough. It felt like it was absolutely ridiculous. But I tell you what a lovely ground. And I'll say this now though. I don't know how old it is, but we have had our crown of the faded seats being taken from us by this place. They're all, apart from the blue seats, it's all faded.
Right. I'll tell you what. I don't know if it's a good ground or not. I mean, I suppose in the National League it's probably like a Premier League ground, but I'd be gutted if this was our ground, if I'm honest. It's not good.
It's one of those, for anyone who hasn't been, it's like, you know those League One like rent-a-kit stadiums where they're all the same?
Doncaster, Rotherham, yeah.
Well, this is one of those football stadium infrastructure fund grounds. So they basically sold Booth and Crescent to the Premier League, and then the SFIF built this ground for them, and they're all the same. Like, bog standard, easy, no corners, nothing, and then just the same four stands, neutral coloured seats because they share it with another team. Everyone's seen the ground who went in League One. It's now special. I mean, 8,000's canny for the National League 2, like.
Yeah, well, let's get on to the football, I guess. Sunderland winning 5-1. It was all done pretty much in the first 50 or so minutes of the game, if we're honest. Mainly done in the first half. Obviously, Sunderland put out their, quote-unquote, strongest 11 in the first half. We are obviously missing 12 players, which is a big thing to miss. 11 players who went to the World Cup. 12 players who went to the World Cup, if you include Thomas Meunier. But still, it was a very, very strong side that we put out. We didn't have too many forwards. And normally when we play a lower league opposition, you're expecting a 1 or 2-0 win in pre-season. Good run out. But it actually felt, James, like every time we shot, we scored today, and I think the fans in the ground got their money's worth, if I'm honest.
It was interesting. I think York started with the back four. And then after we went 2-0 up, one was disallowed, which would have been a lovely goal, like ball through from Tutierov. Enzo chips the keeper, lovely finish.
Oh, hey, I wish that had stood. I don't even think he was off either.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Where I was at the end, I couldn't see, but it was, I think it was after that they changed to a back three. And when they changed to a back three, they basically got a bit of a foothold in the game for a little while until we readjusted. And I think their number 22, I'm sure he's called João Felix or Joe Felix or something like that. I'm not quite sure which one it was. But I think he was basically in the Enzo Lefebvre penitentiary for the good first 40 minutes maybe of the game.
Well, Enzo, I know it's pre-season and I know you shouldn't take performances too seriously, Ian. Oh, how good's it to see Enzo Lefebvre again?
Our most valuable player in many ways. Look, I think the thing is, and look, from my point of view, I can give you absolutely no tactical analysis of this game because I was in the broken nose seats. right down by the goal, front row, leaning against the concrete bit at the end. I couldn't see anything in terms of whether a goal was onside, offside, or whatever it is. But what I could tell was that Enzo Lefebvre was absolutely on it today. And do you know what? That goes for the whole of the team. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Gav. You can't read too much into pre-season games at all, but what you can read into is attitude and application. And to me, that team today looked sharp. That team looked like a team that was preparing for what is the biggest season in this football club for decades. So you've got to start as you mean to go on. And that first half performance was, look, it was devastating, really. You know, they had absolutely no answer. Hey, it was York City. So it's not necessarily going to be Fulham or Brentford or anything like that. Of course it's not. But these are the lads that know they need to be on it because the competition's going to be up there this season. And we're going to need to be. Everyone's going to need to fight for the place in the team, and we're going to need to, you know, basically just put absolutely everything into it. And it's starting today. You can see that very clearly.
Just driving standards, really. Like the standards throughout the team was really good. I thought Alan Brown was tidy. Tutierov stayed to claim. I don't know if they're staying. Phil Smith said the other day on the whistle that it's expected that he thinks that Tutierov will leave the club this summer. If he doesn't, played very well down that left, got a goal, got an assist. His goal, brilliant. Really, really good finish. Like 30 yards, 25 yards out curler at the far corner. If he does leave, he's played himself into a pretty good Football League move, hopefully, with that. If not, let's see if he can maybe... Because obviously with the Europa League, we've got a 25-man squad. It won't be 25 because of homegrown. But then he could quite easily be named in the B squad if he's young enough. Is he under 21? I can't remember. If he is, he's got a chance to potentially be named in that B squad if he stays. Because he played really well today. And yes, it's York, but he's taking a claim, basically, for me.
Let's go over the goals. Enzo, the first one, it's a lovely finish. It's a really lovely finish. And again, I know it's pre-season. I feel like I've got to caveat every single opinion I give here by saying it's pre-season, don't get carried away, blah, 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 blah. But it was a good goal. He basically passes it into the net. I think it was Jocelyn who laid it to him. Yeah, Jocelyn, who had quite a good game. And look, every time I spoke about this game, ahead of the game, I was saying, I just want to see Enzo play. And he was like a Rolls Royce. He didn't even have to sprint, did he, James? It was unreal.
Just dictated everything. It was like every time he got on the ball, he just turned, found a player, drove into space, looked dangerous. Playing in what is his best position as a number 10. Hopefully good sign looking going forwards because everything was through him. Absolutely everything. It doesn't matter who else is around him, really. When they come to the start of the season, Enzo will be playing in that position. Enzo will be the creative fulcrum of the team. People running off him. It's just working well. Looked good. Looked really good. I thought back four were pretty solid. I thought Nordy put some big tackles in. Elborg was getting quite a lot of his name sang quite a lot from the west stand where the Sunderland end was. And every day trying to get him to singing Elborg gives a wave and cheering when they passed to him and that. Didn't really do much, to be honest. I thought when they switched to a 3, they were quite dangerous putting some crosses in. And Hume, time and time again, was just smart, just using his experience. To be honest, it was just a really solid, good, high standard performance against, to be honest, a team who were flying with confidence, just being promoted to the Football League for the first time in a long time. We signed quite a few players in the summer, and they gave us a good test today, which is all you really want.
Yeah, that was it, Ian, wasn't it? I thought it was quite a good battle for a pre-season game, and despite the fact it was a good battle, our quality showed. I think by half, it was 4-0 at half time, and I think we only had 4 shots, and that showed how much quality we've got in the side.
Absolutely, it was ruthless. It really was. What I really liked about the performance today was there were spells at times when we really clicked into gear, that no matter what York wanted to do, they couldn't get near us. And Enzo Lefebvre really epitomised that. He kept the ball half a yard away from them, trying to even make the tackle. And do you know what? That reminded me of Argentina a bit against England the other night. It was a bit like trying to keep candy from a baby. We just couldn't get the ball off them then, and York couldn't get the ball off us today. So when you talk about control, and you talk about application, you talk about the attitude that you want to see, that is exactly what you want to see from these pre-season games. It doesn't matter about performance. And a manager's always call these games the perfect workout. The perfect workout. Well, yeah, it was. It was the perfect workout because it showed Lebris today which those lads were focused, and just the technique and the ability that we showed was really, really pleasing. Bigger tests will obviously await because other teams will be getting their fitness and all that. And look, if we played York City in a month's time, then, or 3 weeks' time, whatever, it might be a different contest. But they're a great side, as you say, James, and they got 100 odd points last season, and they would have wanted to have made their mark today. They'll have seen us as a real test and a real battle and a real chance to kind of put their marker down in the sand against us. And the truth is, they didn't. Because we didn't let them.
I mean, they've already played pre-season games as well, I think. So we were talking about it on the preview show, and I was saying, like, I quite like the fact that we're playing a team who've already played, because that means, we are a step behind, but it means we've got to up our levels, and the whole point of these games is just to... I mean, at the end of the day, the whole point of all of this is to make sure that on day one of the Premier League, we're ready, and... A lot of these lads in the team might not start that game on the first day of the season, but everybody has to be ready. Everybody.
It's a group collective, this, and what we need to do as a squad, as a club, as the fans, we've got to keep this buzz going. And what slightly worried me in the summer with the Granite Jacket at Chelsea thing was that was the first kind of instance where you thought, oh, momentum's checked here. Oh, actually, this might be going in the other direction for once. But we just got to keep the good times rolling here, guys, haven't we? That's what we've got to do. And the club absolutely did that today. And look, hey, I'm drinking the Regis the Brisk Kool-Aid here. Of course I am. We all are. But why not? Because if you can't enjoy coming to games like this today and seeing us play really well and seeing us do things that we know we can do and seeing us, preparing ourselves to be ready for that match on the 22nd of August, whenever it is, then, oh, goodness me, you might as well not bother being a football fan. You might as well just stay here in Hollywood Bowl and bowl a few, strikes or whatever. You can probably do both actually here, but, most places you can't.
Who got the second goal? I'm trying to remember.
Chris
Rigg. Yeah, oh, my. So that goal, the Rigg goal, I loved it because he looked like he was going to shoot into the corner, and then the goalkeeper's steadying himself as if Rigg's going to do that, and then he just passes it in the other side. It was a really classy goal, wasn't it? And again, Chris Rigg's got a big summer ahead because the club are going to sign players, and he's an established first-team player now, James. He's got to be able to step up to the level of everybody else. He did it last season, and he will do it again.
Yeah, I think Rigg's one of those players I mentioned earlier where he's talking about B squads. He doesn't need to be in the A squad for Europe because of his age. He needs to stake his claim here to get regular football. And it's good to see him from the very first moment. He's playing slick, he's passing sharp, he looks fit. He's been on 2 individual coaching programs, fitness programs, during the summer, working with Tommy Watson, with Carl Lawson, with Martin Nugent. So he's obviously kept himself really fit for that pre-season. And to be honest, that's what it's about, really. No matter if you're Chris Rigg, where you're on the fringes of the first team, if you're Alan Brown, who may be on the way out, if you're Nordy or Enzo, who's a first-team player every single week, no matter what, it's just about driving standards, really, more than anything at this stage. And that's what today proved.
I mean, that what I really like about what you just said, James, is you've actually given examples. The example I would give you is that at half-time, Rigg was doing his warm-down in front of us. He was just running really fast. That's all he looked. He just looked fit. And look, that's 2D analysis right there. But I was looking at this guy thinking, he's a specimen. He's focused. And they all were. I mean, Alan Brown looked good as well. He did. But that's exactly what you want. You want people to be ready.
Brown looks like he's put a bit muscle on in that. It's just me.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a bit of heft in the midfield there because he flew into a couple of challenges and he wasn't letting it go. And look, I don't know what the future holds for Alan Brown. I don't know why he doesn't go back to Borough because I think they're a fantastic pairing, really.
Brown's probably only in the team probably to put him in the shop window. Obviously we'll get on the second half in a second, but Adji were probably doing him a favour, proving that he's got minutes in the tank, he's got fitness to probably get him a move more than likely. But either way, it's just keep standards up. Just keep good mentality throughout the entirety of pre-season because we've got 12 players away. 12 people need to fill in those spots regardless. So even if they're not here in a couple of months' time, let's get the standards high for those who will be.
Third goal was Enzo, I think, again. Third goal was, Tutierov. Of course, Tutierov, and what a goal it was. You said 30 yards, 25, it was somewhere in that region, but he bends in off the left, sees the goalkeeper off his line, whaps it in. I really like Timo Tutierov, and unfortunately, I just think the club have stepped past a couple of players, and he's one of them. And he went to Exeter, who struggled in League One last season, and made an impression, which is all you can ask of Timo Tutierov. But if I was a scout watching that game today and I seen him score that goal, and I was a Championship or a League One club, I'd be thinking, fucking hell, we should take a chance on this kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Tutierov, there's two flavours of players that you feel sorry for at Sunderland. One is the players who've been in the first team, like Dan Neil, Anthony Patterson, who the club have outgrown. The other flavour of player that you feel a bit sorry for are the youth lads who haven't really had a chance to even have a look at in the flesh. And Tutierov, had we been in the Championship right now, if we hadn't beaten Sheffield United that day, and we'd been, preparing for Millwall at home, and we'd seen Tutierov do that, we'd be thinking, yeah, he's absolutely somebody who can come in and do a job for us. I mean, whether he can or not in a professional sense is ways to be seen. He did all right at Exeter last season. He's not going to necessarily be in our first team this year, but look, he would look at that performance today and say, what else do you want me to do? I've got an assist, I've got one in from 20, 25 yards. That's all you can do to showcase yourself. And he did great. He did really well. He's very proud of himself. And his celebration as well has shown that it really meant something to him. It really did. Everyone else kind of struts off, whatever, But Tutierov, he did a little dance and a little, air punch and all that. So, yeah, fair play to him. He did really well.
Fourth goal, was that Enzo? Yeah, I'm making sure he definitely scored twice.
Were you even at the game?
Yeah, I mean, I've had about 10 pints, to be fair, so I'm just making sure. But yeah, Enzo I think he had 2 shots in the whole game and he scored from both of them, James. I know we've kind of already said this, but he's minting. When me and the lads were on the train down today, I was like, I can't wait to see Enzo again. And it was just like a road show.
I'll tell you what he is. Sorry, just to cut in there. He's a comfort blanket. That's what Enzo Lefebvre. When Enzo Lefebvre is on the pitch, everything's going to be okay.
I just love him. I just absolutely love him. I was gutted he wasn't in the France squad. To be honest, he's never getting in it, is he really? The quality they've got in his position is just not going to happen. But
mad that though, because he's that good.
Yeah, but you only got Elise and Cherky are the 2 opposite 10s.
Fuck them, they're not as good as him.
I wish. But the best thing about him not going is that he's here today. And him, Nordy, both. I mean, Nordy definitely should have been in ahead of Malo Gusto. I'll die on that hill. Fucking hell. But Enzo was just mint, man. To be honest, keeper probably should have saved it. It's straight at him and he kind of fumbles it. But either way, it's a lovely move. It's a really, really good bit of football. Again, Tutierov getting broken down on the left-hand side, free, beating his man again, cutting it back to Enzo. Nice goal. I just checked and I think Tutierov might have aged out of the B list for Europe. Probably a good chance he might be off because of that. But either way, with today's performance, if he keeps playing like this during pre-season, you'll either get in with potentially a chance or you'll get a good move. So really, really promising from him today. On the other side, Tabi, I think, doesn't really like tracking back. It was a few times when their left-hand side sort of overloaded ours a little bit and you had to have Nordy and Brown sort of shift over to try and cover for Tabi. Got out-muscled quite a bit, but they're a big side. There was a lot of first-team players in that first side. There was 3 or 4 in the second half playing against the Bairns. They're not particularly great. There was a gulf in quality, but they were physical.
Tabi for me actually looked quite tidy. And you know what I quite like about it? We haven't got a lot to go off, but with Tabi, he's quite selfish as a player. What I've seen, I'm not talking about. I'm basically talking about before he signed for Sunderland. Quite a selfish player, where when he was playing in Israel, he was taking 3 or 4 people on and shooting. Today, very unselfish, and understood who the seniors were on the pitch, played the ball back to them, and you can only read so much into a performance when it's pre-season. But I'm actually really optimistic about Jocelyn Tabi. I don't know about you, Ian. I think, I don't know, I just want to see a bit more of him pre-season and see what he's got.
He's somebody who has a little bit of a different thing to prove, really, because he got that injury after came in, looked good against Oxford, got the injury against Fulham, wasn't it? In that absolutely bizarre game that we all sort of basically dropped down dead in. And we didn't really then obviously see much of him. Then he's had the tournament pre-season at the end of last season and got a few goals for Ivory Coast, and they're really, really good. But there's pressure on him there because he's threatened to deliver without necessarily delivering at the stage you want him to deliver at. So let's see how he goes. We're really in the position where we were mid-February, where we didn't know too much about him, apart from the little snippets that we've seen. So I think he can do it, but you can't necessarily hang your hat and say we'll definitely be the player that we need, because at the minute one of the challenges for us is to work out which gaps to fill in the squad. And you can think about it externally, who we're going to necessarily bring in the players that we need, in the position we need to fill. But we're also a little bit unsure as to whether there's already the answer lying there, and he might already be the answer. So that's the challenge for him, is to go out and do that and prove that. And yeah, he was good today. He was good, but it's the first pre-season game. No conclusions to be drawn yet. But it looks good.
At the very least, he's got a good chance now to prove that he can potentially step up. You've got Adingra's been away, Talby's been away, Angulo's away. All three haven't returned from the World Cup yet. Traore's obviously left the club in the summer. So he's really the only natural right winger we've got who can actively play there as a more senior option. We are targeting a left-footed right winger. That's well known. That's Sunderland are targeting an elite level one. But Talby could be in one of the few names in the squad now who's got a chance to basically go to Reggie and prove that he can play for Sunderland, prove at least he's good enough for the squad. At the very least, for now, and potentially maybe back up to a more experienced potential elite option that we're trying to sign. But right now, he could be one of the breakthrough stars of pre-season if he's got the right mentality, got the right work rate, got the right ability.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it is, James, because at the minute he's the only player in the room. What an opportunity for someone like that. Like, how many players do you think, can you think of where you think, feel a bit sorry for them because it's a bit of a crowded environment? Enzo Lefebvre, as we were talking about, isn't in the France squad because there are so many options. Tarbi is literally, he's like, this is mine. I've got the coach at the minute. That's mine. And he's got an opportunity to do that. So then what that does is tell you about someone's mentality. Have they got the mentality to take that chance? Absolutely 100%. And look, we'll see. We'll see whether he'll do it. I don't know.
It could be similar to Diarra. I mean, he's not a £30 million player. He's not established at Strasbourg, but Diarra was in from day one, played the first pre-season game against South Shields, managed by the end of pre-season to push Enzo out of the starting position into number 10. Whether you agree with that or not, I personally didn't. Ultimately, it still happened. Diarra forced his way in from being there from the start from good pre-season performances. So Tarby could be that. Obviously, like I say, it's not necessarily the same comparison. Diarra was already an established player, but that's the benefit of being there, being available, and being there from day one of pre-season. He could push his way through, hopefully, but his tracking back wasn't brilliant. I think he got a little bit of a telling off from Hume, probably about 15 minutes, because I was literally right on that touchline he was running up on the second half. And Hume had a word with him. He was gesticulating and his body position and getting back and tracking back. And from then on, he did it a lot more. So he's listening, obviously, and learning.
Just transitioning to Hume a bit there. Tell you what I really liked about him today was that he looked like somebody who'd been there and done it. He looked like somebody who's reading everything. He looked like someone with experience. He looked like a leader. And he does, and we know that's what he's like, but it looked like he'd grown even more. You know, he's grown to this position within Northern Ireland where he's basically their kind of senior leader now, where everyone puts their faith in him at a national level. And at a club level as well, he's obviously very, very comfortable. And, as you say, James, his positioning today, his reading of the game, his marshalling of the players around him to basically get them to do what he wanted to do was great. From the position that we were in, we can see that really clearly. And that's great, because we're going to really need Trey Hume this year. Really need it.
The fifth goal came from Tom Proctor, who I believe is the son of Michael Proctor. I haven't seen a great deal of him. He's not particularly big, but he got up and won the header and scored the goal. I guess, just for him to be in the first team environment and scoring a goal is amazing, isn't it? We can't say much more than that, really, but these early games in pre-season, the young'uns always play their part. And, fair play. If you can take a chance, it gets you noticed.
Do you reckon he's picked number 77 for Paddy Roberts? Must have done.
Aye, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, maybe it's his hero.
I don't blame him, to be fair. It's just Sam Blakey in disguise. But no, I thought Proctor did well, to be fair. There was a good couple of moves in the first half. And so obviously the young lads came on at half time, and I think it was Dinsdale on the left, Felix Scott on the right, Garagouzian with Proctor in behind. And Dinsdale and Scott looked a threat in the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, hitting them on the break when obviously so if people didn't catch the match, they managed to keep their full 11 for this till about an hour in, as we did 11 subs at half time. And Dinsdale was a real threat on that left-hand side. Dinsdale created the goal, nearly scored another when him and Scott ran into each other. Created a couple of, put it on the plate for Proctor, put it on the plate for Garagouzian. Another good link-up play with Whittaker in centre mid. And then Proctor, I think it was his through ball in the first place that played it out wide to Dinsdale and then followed his run on. Looked really good, really, until they brought on 11 players, and after that you could see the lads were like struggling a bit physically, couldn't really get the ball off York, and then the last half an hour was kind of a non-event with them just passing it around, apart from maybe Jensen Seals at the back. I don't know what happened for their goal. I think it was Seal maybe got under the ball and he held her and Adju kind of ball watching. It wasn't very good defending, to be honest. Not really that bothered at the end of the day. We'll need to work on it, obviously. We can highlight something on it, but considering who's in the team, you can't really imagine seeing a defensive Adji Helder and Seal in the Prem or in Europe. But after that, Seal made an unbelievable last-ditch challenge. He dived in, but really perfect timing.
We could see that the position we were in. We could see that was a great challenge by Seals. I mean, Seal looked like the adults in the room in the back today, because he was physically just really dominant. It's great to see Seal back, actually, because injuries-wise, it's been really difficult for him, hasn't it? But and again at Wolfsburg last season, he got a really bad injury and didn't play for a long time. So I was really pleased to see him back. But just to go back to Dinsdale there, I love the assist for the goal. It was really, really good. You're watching someone turn someone inside out, backwards, forwards, and all that. He just, again, it's a bit like Tuchierov. He kind of showcased the best of his ability, and he did that in that moment. And obviously, he's not going to be anywhere near the first team and that, but for a lot of those lads today, it's about showing loan managers up and down the country who are thinking, right, in the National League, League 2, League 1, who can we get in from clubs like Sunderland? Because, we are a club that has developed a really well-deserved reputation over the last few years for developing players at all levels of our squad. And now clubs are going to say, right, check out what Sunderland have got in their squad. They're going to say, right, who can we get from them? Who do we need that Sunderland can give to us? And if someone's watching Dinsdale today, if someone's watching Tuchierov, they're going to say, there's those guys, that number 38 there today, Dinsdale, he did really well, you want to check him out again. So, it's a massive, massive positive, and I can't really remember a time where it's been like that, because previously we've really needed the depth of the squad, but now we can look in the depths of our squad and say, go out and get the experience you need.
All over then, a good run out, James, would you say, for Sunderland today? I mean, I don't like to read too much into these games. I know we spoke for 25 minutes or whatever it's been here about this performance, but it's the first game of pre-season. Yes, it's about fitness, but the majority of the people in the ground were probably Sunderland fans, and it was nice to turn up, see some goals, come away feeling happy. Just gives you a good feeling going the rest of pre-season, doesn't it?
Just good to see the lads play again, to be honest, no matter really who it's against, where it is, when it is or why it is. Just good to be back watching Sunderland, and World Cup's over, the lads are back. Thank fuck for that.
It's all about the vibes, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, everyone. We've got a pod dropping tomorrow, so make sure you join us here on How We're the Podcast. Hopefully it wasn't too loud here in Hollywood Bowl. I mean, I can barely hear the lads speak. That's how loud it is in here. So let's see how this one turns out. But thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you follow us at Rotor Report and at How We're the Podcast on all your social media channels. See you later.